The restaurant chair in front of Captain Alina Reyes sat painfully empty. It felt like the silence in her life had taken physical shape and pulled out the seat across from her. The soft clinking of cutlery and cheerful laughter of families only reminded her of what she once had and what she feared she might never find again. She had faced battlefield explosions without flinching, yet sitting alone on a blind date at a sunny cafe in the middle of the day made her heart tremble. She kept smoothing the creases of her neatly pressed uniform, pretending she did not feel abandoned. She had shown up with hope. Hope now looked foolish. If you believe in kindness and second chances, like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel Kindness Journal to support more heart-touching stories like this one. Alina tried to steady herself. She had served 10 long years in the military. She had protected others from danger, pushed through injuries, and counted stars in lonely night skies wishing someone was waiting for her. Then a roadside blast took her partner in combat and shattered the plans she once had. She returned home to recover from her wounds with medals, but no one to celebrate them with. The career that once made her feel unstoppable now seemed like the very reason she had lost her chance at a normal life. Her best friend insisted she try dating again. Alina resisted for months until she finally agreed to one meeting with a man her friend described as trustworthy and kind. She arrived early, full of nervous hope. 15 minutes passed, then 30, then almost an hour. She kept telling herself there must be a reason. Maybe he got stuck in traffic. Maybe he walked into the wrong place. Maybe this could still work. Eventually, she gave up on imagining excuses, and the disappointment settled deep inside her like an old familiar wound reopening. She finally stood up, ready to leave. The sunlight coming through the large windows washed over her uniform, making her look strong on the outside even while her heart collapsed. She paid for her coffee, refusing to let anyone see how much this rejection hurt. As she walked out into the warm afternoon, she took a deep breath that burned her lungs with emotion she did not want to show. Before she could reach her car, she saw 3 small shadows moving toward her. She turned and found 3 little girls, all around 5 or 6 years old, wearing matching pale blue dresses and carrying school backpacks with cartoon rabbits drawn on them. They looked nervous yet determined. Their big dark eyes glimmered with urgency. Alina froze, unsure why children were approaching her so directly. The tallest one stepped forward and spoke with the seriousness only a brave child could show. She said that their daddy was sorry he was late. Alina blinked, confused. The girl said he really wanted to be here and asked if the soldier still had time to wait. The second girl added that he had promised he would not miss this day no matter how busy he got. The third girl held out a wrinkled red flower she said their father picked for the soldier while running. Alina's breath caught. A forgotten feeling flickered inside her. She found herself kneeling to look into their hopeful faces. She asked why they were giving this message to her. The girls explained their mother had passed away when they were toddlers and their father had been taking care of them alone. He had not gone on a date in years and worked very hard to be both mom and dad. They asked her not to leave before he arrived because they really wanted him to smile again. Alina's heart softened instantly. She did not know if this story was real, yet something inside her urged patience. Maybe she was not meant to walk away from this moment. She allowed the girls to lead her back inside the cafe. They sat with her while she tried to gather her thoughts. The girls chatted non-stop about their father, Rafael Aragon, describing him as the best daddy in the world. They talked about how he braided their hair before school and made heart-shaped pancakes. They said he read bedtime stories in funny voices and kissed the pictures in their family album where their mom smiled. Alina listened as sunlight warmed the room, and something in her heart thawed. The girls were intelligent and full of life. They reminded her of something she missed, a sense of family, a reason to be brave not just for herself but for someone else. The littlest one placed her small hand on Alina's and said the soldier looked like a real hero. Alina felt tears threatening and quickly blinked them back. Minutes later, the cafe door swung open and a man rushed in, slightly out of breath. He had dark eyes that matched his daughter's, short, neatly trimmed hair, and a face that showed he had lived through love and loss. He still wore his hospital scrubs, probably coming from a shift he could not escape. When he saw his girls sitting with Alina, relief flooded his expression. He walked over and apologized, explaining he got stuck caring for a patient who needed him urgently. He said he should have called but did not want to miss the chance to meet her. He thanked the girls for their courage in finding her. Something changed inside Alina while she stared into his eyes. She saw honesty, vulnerability, and a hint of fear that she might still walk away. She knew that fear far too well. She told him she stayed because his daughters asked so kindly. They smiled shyly, knowing they were the heroes of the moment. They ended up talking for hours. The girls drew pictures while Rafael and Alina talked about life, grief, and the courage to try again. Alina told him she struggled returning to normal life after serving overseas and worried she was too broken for relationships. Rafael assured her that people who endure hardships often have the deepest love to give. He said being broken only means one has survived, and survival is something to be proud of. His words settled into her heart like medicine. She noticed how gentle he was with his daughters, and how every sentence he said was sprinkled with love for them. They spent time together outside afterward, letting the girls play in a small nearby park. The warm afternoon breeze moved through the trees while Rafael shared stories of his late wife, and how he promised to raise their daughters to know joy even when his own heart felt heavy. Alina felt honored he trusted her with something so personal on the first day they met. Weeks turned into months. Soon Alina found herself becoming part of their lives. She taught the girls how to ride bicycles at the park during sunny days. She helped them draw cards for their classmates and listened to their laughter each evening. They started calling her Captain Ally because they admired her bravery. For the first time in years, Alina felt she belonged somewhere again. Rafael and Alina deepened their bond slowly, respecting the past and nurturing what was growing between them. He admired her strength and how she always put others first. She admired his gentleness and the way he made every space feel warm even on the hardest days. They learned to share grief without letting it define them. There were challenges along the way. Alina sometimes experienced flashbacks from the battlefield. Rafael sometimes worried he was asking too much of her by bringing her into a family still healing. The girls feared losing another mother figure and sometimes clung to her too tightly. Through these trials they chose patience, they chose honesty, they chose love. One bright day, near the anniversary of the day they first met, Rafael invited Alina to the cafe where their story began. The girls prepared a surprise. They ran up to Alina holding a small card they made together. Inside were crayon drawings of all 5 of them holding hands under a big sun. The girls asked her if she could become their official family hero. The card said this is the family mission and heroes always say yes. Rafael then looked at her with a tender expression and told her he wanted to spend the rest of his life with her if she felt ready. Tears streamed down Alina's face as she realized the empty chair from that first day was never meant to stay empty. She had waited so long for a chance to feel alive again. Their wedding was small and simple in the middle of the day, surrounded by people who understood the beauty of second chances. When Alina walked down the aisle, the triplets carried flowers and called her the bravest bride in the world. The sun shined bright above them while their friends celebrated love that grew out of heartbreak. Alina looked at Rafael and his daughters and felt gratitude rise inside her until it overflowed as tears. She had finally found the home she never thought would be hers. If this story touched your heart, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel Kindness Journal. Your support helps spread stories of hope, courage, and love. Special request: comment Family Hero to show that you believe everyone deserves a second chance at happiness. Alina once feared she was too broken to love again. Now she stood holding hands with a man who respected her courage and 3 daughters who saw her as their champion. Life had not gone according to her original plans. It turned out better, all because 3 little girls refused to let her give up on hope.